still in contention. Can't wait for Saturday for moving day. He's got to make some moves today.
Time now for Say What? Kawhi Leonard won the Raptors their first ever NBA title last night and took home his second career Finals MVP. Luckily for us, we have a behind-the-scenes look at how the Claw celebrated. Say what?
Dear Journal, today I celebrated winning the championship. Now Boardman sleeps.
That ain't right. You gotta get his braids right. Though.
Get his braids right. I mean, the guy might be a little chubbier than Kawhi. That wasn't nice of the guy.
Kawhi drank some champagne last night. He enjoyed himself.
Absolutely. Boardman gets his second ring, second Finals MVP.
Now the question is, who can do it? Because there's only 3 people that have ever done it: Lou Alcindor, Kareem, LeBron, and now Kawhi. Who between LeBron and Kawhi can be with MVP of their third team? Who gets there first?
Right.
If Kawhi leaves Toronto.
Those are the only people who've ever won Finals MVP for separate teams.
Yes.
And LeBron and Kawhi both potentially next year could have a chance to do it. Both in the same city potentially. Both fighting for Los Angeles supremacy.
I'll report on that next.
Okay.
I'm gonna give y'all a wake-up call.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you a wake-up call. Let's call it AT&T. Raptors won Game 6, 114-110, their first title in franchise history. Big win for Kawhi, Kyle Lowry, all of Canada, actually. See, how remarkable was this championship?
Oh, it's remarkable. For me, my brother used to be the head coach of Toronto.
Yep.
So I've been following them since the beginning. Isaiah Thomas, when he originally went there and was helped run the franchise, bringing basketball to Canada, this is huge because we have dominated. In the United States, there's one team in North America, and that's the one in Toronto, and they have the crown as far as the best basketball team in the world.
And they've had some really tough moments after parting ways with your brother, notably. Vince Carter quits. I love Vince, but he quit on him there.
Yes.
Then Tracy McGrady doesn't want to be there anymore. Then Chris Bosh doesn't want to be there anymore. They spend the #1 overall pick of the draft on Andrea Bargnani to end up having all those heartbreaks and now have this championship. That's awesome. I'm so happy for Toronto and all the people of Canada who have turned into great basketball fans.
All right, moving on. So the Warriors lost more than just the game in the series last night. They lost Klay Thompson as well, suffering a torn ACL in the third quarter. Warriors have now lost KD and Klay to major injuries in back-to-back games. Nick, how does this impact Golden State's future?
Ain't going to be a 6th straight Finals appearance. There's no more, well, even when KD leaves, they're the favorites in the West. No, sir. No, no, no. And they got to be really careful, in my opinion. The one guy now who 5 straight years of 100-plus games, who's a scorer for them, Steph, they're going to rely on him a lot next year. You got to keep in mind, Steph, next year, turns 32, has a history of the ankle injuries. You can't overuse him during the regular season trying to stay afloat while Klay is out. So, no, it's crazy to say this. They'd have been so much better off see if they got swept. They got swept. KD doesn't pop his Achilles. Klay doesn't tear his ACL.
Yeah, and also you saw a little glimpse of if they decide to put Quinn Cook on the court with Steph, because Steph is a liability defensively. This was the one time they couldn't hide him because Klay is the perfect partner, not only on the offensive end, but more on the defensive end. How hard does Steph have to work next year during the regular season playing defense because Cook is not a good defender? Can they get someone to come in for the minimum to fill that 2-guard spot? Big blow not only to Klay, but bigger blow to Steph.
All right, finally, Kawhi Leonard took home his second Finals MVP last night. He becomes the 3rd player ever to win Finals MVPs with multiple teams, joining Kareem and LeBron, like you mentioned, C. The first ever to win it in both conferences. Nick, did Kawhi show you he is the best player in the NBA?
Can I tweak the question just a bit?
Sure.
I think he showed the world. I might be the wrong person to ask on this. Well, what, see?
Oh, no, that was just...
okay,
I'm sorry.
No problem.
That's like your fake phone call.
He gets the title.
I gotta go.
He gets the title. He gets the title of? Best player in the world. He's earned it.
That being said...
listen, we said going in the playoffs, there's a handful of guys that were the lone superstar on a team. If they led their team to a championship, with LeBron, the reigning best player in the world, not getting his team to the playoffs and dealing with an injury this year, they would get the title. He was on the list. Harden was on the list. Giannis was on the list. You could have argued Embiid was on the list. And he did it. And he did it going through Embiid, going through Giannis, going through Steph. KD didn't, KD, unfortunately for him, he was on the list where he could have done it through super extraordinary play, and he was doing that, but then he hurt himself, and then he really hurt himself. So, yes, if the title was up for grabs, and we all said it was, Kawhi went out and earned it. Now, if you're asking me, who do I think's better, LeBron or Kawhi, I still think it's LeBron.
Who do you think's better, Kawhi or KD?
Well, I have no idea about KD now. I mean, KD, what KD was or what he will be, because we don't know what he will be. If you're asking me this, who would I rather have for the next 5 years, Kawhi or KD? That's easy as can be. That's Kawhi, because I know what he'll be. So your guys, went out and did it. I didn't think he could, and he went out and did it.
This is the thing. It's very, very strange now, because let's look where Kawhi was last year. We're like, man, is he ever going to come back from the quad injury? Look where KD was last year, on the top of the basketball world. Second finals MVP. LeBron was a better player in the finals. He was amazing. He's deciding to go in free agency. LeBron tears his groin this year. KD snaps his Achilles. All right, and now we got Kawhi among them. He's the only one healthy. I just think it's an odd year. I think that Kawhi has earned the rep that we thought was going to be for Giannis, because if it was Giannis, we would be beating the drum. I don't think Nick would be saying LeBron's a better player than Giannis. I don't think he'd be saying
Giannis had done what Kawhi
did. I don't think he'd be doing that. The Nick Wright that I know, he was on the Giannis train. It got stopped by Kawhi. But right now, and because of Kawhi's ability on the defensive end, Kawhi Leonard's the best basketball player in the world. If KD was healthy, if he didn't come back and snap it, I would be like, listen, this is hard for me to decide. I would be like, KD is the best basketball player. Going into the playoffs, I thought KD was the best basketball player. Now, he loses by default. But if he would have stayed out of the series and he was healthy going into free agency, I would be sitting here saying, even though Kawhi won the title, KD, and what I saw, KD is the best basketball player.
KD was playing the best basketball of his life. So when he could have earned the title, I don't want to say by default, but by what he did leading up to the calf injury. Because the calf injury, we don't worry about lingering effects. We don't worry about, will he be the same guy next year?
But Achilles.
The Achilles, it's not only will he be the same guy, it's that he's going to miss basketball for over a calendar year. The way the reports are right now, though, Steve Kerr said it last night, he's like, Kevin going to be out next season. And so, I mean, I know he doesn't want to be out all of next season, but if you're out next season, you're actually out 15 months. You're out from June of 2019 until October of 2021. Of 2020, pardon me, but that's 15 months. So for KD, it's a tough spot, but Kawhi's done everything you could ask him to do. If Kawhi hasn't earned the title, the fake title that I love talking about so much, then it wasn't eligible for him to earn. Because he did everything you could possibly want him to do. Averaged almost a 30-point double-double. Led his team to the championship. Won Finals MVP. Was spectacular against the guy who's going to win league MVP defensively in the previous round. He did everything you could possibly ask him to do. Led his team to 3 wins in Oracle. So he's earned it, even if my eye test might feel a little differently.
All right, let's move on. Talk about the Warriors now. Steph Curry had a chance to take the lead with less than 10 seconds to go last night, but